Now we'll go on to section 4C. We'll look at multiplying radicals. Sometimes this involves distributing when you have one monomial radical times a binomial. Distributing, sometimes it involves foiling or distributing twice. Okay, so let's go through and do number 27 first of all. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So the rule with radicals when you multiply them is you multiply any numbers out in front, you multiply things under the radical together. So if I do that, I don't have any numbers out in front on this one, but I'm going to multiply the things that are underneath my square root of 10 times square root 5, which is square root 50. And now I need to ask myself, can I reduce or simplify square root 50? So if I break 50 down, it's 25 times 2, 5 times 5. So I got a 5 I can pull out, which would be 5, and then square root 2, or 5 radical 2 is how you say that. And that's as far as you can go on 27. Let's go down to 34. So 34. Now I have this 2 square root 10 out in front. I have two terms inside here. I have the 5, which doesn't have a radical on it, and then I have the 2 square root 2. I can distribute, or I want to distribute. So I'm taking 2 square root 10 times 5. Now 5 is not under a radical, so 5 gets multiplied by 2. So that's going to be 10 and square root 10 for the first term when I distribute my 2 square root 10 to 5. Okay, then I'm going to distribute 2 square root 10 and multiply that times 2 square root 2. Okay, both positive, so that's going to be plus. I multiply 2 times 2, which will be 4. And then I do the 10 times the 2 underneath here, which is going to be radical or square root 20. Now, after I distribute, I have to ask myself, can I simplify any radicals involved? You can't combine them because one's radical 10, one is radical 20. Actually, with 10 here, this first term cannot be simplified at all because if I broke 10 down, it's just 2 times 5, and it's a square root, so there's no pairs. So that can't be simplified, but I can break 20 down in this radical into 2 times 10, and then the 10 into 2 times 5. You see how you have a pair of 2's there? So I'm going to pull a 2 out in front. That's going to get multiplied by this 4, and then the 5 is going to go back underneath. So I have 10 radical 10, just pulling this term down, plus 4 times 2 here is going to be 8, and then I have the 5 left under the radical right there. So it's 10 radical 10, or 10 square root 10, plus 8 radical 5, or 8 square root 5. And that's as far as you can go. They're not like radical terms, and that's as far as we can go on that one.